Most people live their lives chasing comfort. They run from pain, and in doing so, they run from growth. But the truth is simple: pleasure is a trap, and pain is the pathway. Every victory you've ever had came after struggle. Every strength you've built was carved out of resistance. Every version of you that was stronger than before was born in fire, not in comfort. When you pursue pleasure, you choose the easy road. It feels good now, but it weakens you tomorrow. Comfort robs you of courage. It lulls you into a life of mediocrity. But when you pursue pain, the discipline, the sacrifice, the grind, the long nights, the lonely hours, you unlock a different version of yourself. The version that refuses to quit, the version that turns obstacles into fuel, the version that makes the comeback louder than the setback. Do not seek the soft life. Seek the life that challenges you, breaks you, stretches you, because that's where the comeback is forged. When the weight is heavy, carry it. When the road is long, walk it. When your mind screams to stop, keep moving. The comeback belongs to those who choose pain over pleasure. The comeback belongs to those who embrace the suffering, because they know on the other side of pain is power. Your greatest transformation won't come when you're comfortable. It will come when you are tested, when you are pushed, when you refuse to give in. So stop chasing pleasure. Stop avoiding the hard path. Pursue pain, embrace the grind, welcome the struggle, because in that fire, your destiny is being shaped. And when you rise again stronger, sharper, unstoppable, the world will know this was your greatest comeback. Pain is the pathway, not the obstacle. It forges strength and resilience. Every trial you face is not meant to destroy you, but to develop you. Every setback is not the end of the story, but the spark that ignites a new beginning. When you run from pain, you run from the very thing that shapes you. When you avoid the struggle, you avoid the growth that only struggle can bring. Pleasure makes life easy, but it also makes you weak. Pain makes life harder, but it makes you unshakable. Think about the moments in your life when you became stronger. It was never after an easy season. It was never during a time of comfort. It was when you were pushed to your limits. It was when you were tested and tried. It was when you had to pick yourself up after falling again and again. That's where resilience was born. That's where strength was forged. Every scar carries a story. Every wound that healed became a lesson. Every battle you fought became a part of your character. You don't become great by avoiding pain. You become great by enduring it. You become great by using it. When life throws weight on your shoulders, carry it. When the nights are long and lonely, push through them. When everything in you screams to quit, find one more step, one more breath, one more push. That's where transformation happens. Pain is not the enemy. Pain is the teacher. Pain is the sculptor that carves the weak parts of you away, leaving behind the strongest version of yourself. It breaks you down, but it breaks you open. It hurts, but it heals you into someone unrecognizable from who you were before. The pathway of pain is the pathway of growth, the pathway of discipline, the pathway of resilience, the pathway of becoming who you were always meant to be. If you run from pain, you will live small. If you embrace pain, you will rise tall. Life is not asking you to avoid the struggle. Life is daring you to face it head on. Because the comeback belongs to those who embrace the fire. Because the victory belongs to those who refuse to run. Pain is the pathway, not the obstacle. It forges your strength. It builds your resilience, and it turns your setbacks into the foundation of your greatest comeback. Pleasure is a trap that keeps people weak and complacent. It whispers promises of comfort. It offers the illusion of happiness. It makes you feel satisfied even when you've accomplished nothing. Pleasure is the easy road, but it is the road that leads to nowhere. It convinces you that rest is enough, that comfort is enough, that small moments of escape are enough. But deep down, you know it isn't. You know that every time you choose comfort over challenge, you are shrinking your potential. You are trading your greatness for a fleeting moment of ease. Pleasure keeps you distracted. It makes you believe you are living, when in reality you are just existing. The soft life looks appealing, but it robs you of courage. It robs you of grit. It robs you of the hunger that fuels progress. When you are comfortable, you lose the fire. When you are at ease, you stop reaching higher. And when you stop reaching higher, you stop becoming who you were meant to be. Pleasure is deceptive because it feels good now, but it costs you later. Every shortcut, every escape, every indulgence is a debt that will come due. And when the bill arrives, you'll realize comfort was the most expensive choice you could have made. Those who chase pleasure avoid the hard work. They avoid the sacrifice. They avoid the discomfort that comes with growth. But it is that very discomfort that builds strength. It is the grind, not the indulgence, that shapes champions. It is the discipline, not the distraction, that creates legacies. Pleasure tells you to relax. Pain tells you to rise. Pleasure tells you to slow down. Discipline tells you to move forward. Every person who achieved greatness did so because they rejected the easy path. They knew that comfort was a cage. They knew that pleasure was a trap. So they chose the harder way, the road of discipline, the road of focus, the road of sacrifice, and through that road, they unlocked their potential. Pleasure will always be there, calling you back. But every time you resist it, you grow stronger. Every time you deny it, you sharpen your will. And every time you choose discipline over comfort, you separate yourself from the crowd. Pleasure is the trap that keeps people weak and complacent. But resistance to that trap is what makes people powerful, unstoppable, and free. True victories are always born from struggle, not comfort. Every great story begins with hardship. Every breakthrough comes after resistance. Every transformation is forged in the fire of trials, not in the ease of comfort. Comfort does not demand more of you. Comfort does not push you. Comfort does not stretch your limits, but struggle does. Struggle forces you to confront who you really are. Struggle demands that you dig deeper, fight harder, and refuse to give up. It is in the storm that you learn how strong your foundation really is. It is in the darkness that you discover the fire within you. It is in the battle that you uncover the warrior you were always meant to become. Victory is not handed to you. It is earned through perseverance. It is earned through sweat, through sacrifice, through countless moments where quitting felt easier, but you chose to endure. The world remembers those who overcame, not those who had it easy, not those who chose the soft path. History is written by the ones who endured the trial, who carried the burden, who refused to stop when the road grew heavy. Think of the moments you are most proud of in your life. Were they born out of comfort, or were they the result of pushing through pain, climbing through struggle, and proving to yourself that you could? Struggle gives victory its meaning. If it were easy, it wouldn't feel like triumph. If it were comfortable, it wouldn't create growth. If it required nothing of you, it would build nothing within you. True victories require you to risk, to fight, to fail, and to rise again. They require you to go further than you thought possible. They demand everything and give nothing until you've proven you're worthy. But when the victory comes, it is sweeter than anything comfort could offer, because you know you earned it, because you know you bled for it. Because you know you became stronger in the process of chasing it. The struggle is the birthplace of greatness. The struggle is the training ground for destiny. The struggle is what separates the ordinary from the unstoppable. Do not run from the hard path. Do not fear the obstacles in front of you. They are not there to block your victory. They are there to shape you for it. True victories are always born from struggle, not comfort. And the greater the struggle, the greater the triumph waiting on the other side. Choosing discipline and sacrifice leads to transformation. The life you dream of is not built by chance. It is not built by luck or by waiting for the right time. It is built by choices, choices that demand discipline, choices that demand sacrifice. Every day you decide who you are becoming. Every decision either brings you closer to your best self or further away from it. Discipline is not glamorous. It does not feel exciting in the moment. It is the decision to wake up when you want to sleep. It is the choice to work when no one is watching. It is the commitment to consistency, even when motivation fades. Sacrifice is not easy. It means giving up what is comfortable. It means letting go of instant gratification for the sake of long-term gain. It means saying no to distractions so you can say yes to your destiny. But within discipline and sacrifice lies the seed of transformation. Because the more you practice discipline, the more you gain control over yourself. You stop being ruled by impulse. You stop being chained by comfort. You begin to rise above your old habits. You begin to build a new version of yourself, stronger, sharper, unshakable. Sacrifice sharpens your vision. It strips away the unnecessary and leaves only what truly matters. It teaches you to value what lasts over what fades. It trains you to endure discomfort so you can hold greater victories. Transformation never happens in the easy moments. It happens in the moments when you choose to do what is hard, when you choose to stay the course, when you choose to pay the price now so you can live free later. Every great leader, every champion, every success story was written with discipline as the ink and sacrifice as the paper. They gave up who they were for who they could become. They chose structure over chaos. They chose purpose over pleasure. They chose growth over comfort. And in the process, they were transformed. Discipline may feel like chains in the beginning, but it becomes freedom in the end. Sacrifice may feel like loss at first, but it becomes the foundation of gain later. Choosing discipline and sacrifice is choosing the higher road. It is choosing to rise above the ordinary. It is choosing to step into the extraordinary. And though the road is difficult, the person you become along the way makes it worth it. Choosing discipline and sacrifice leads to transformation, because through them, you don't just change your circumstances, you change yourself. Comfort leads to mediocrity while pain builds greatness. Comfort feels safe, it feels warm, it feels familiar, but comfort is deceptive. It convinces you that you are living well when, in truth, you are standing still. Comfort whispers, "Stay here, it's enough." It asks nothing of you, and because it asks nothing, it gives nothing in return. When you live in comfort, you never stretch yourself. You never reach for more. You never test your limits, and you never discover what you are truly capable of. Comfort creates mediocrity because it keeps you in a cycle of ease. It dulls your hunger. It softens your edge. It numbs your drive to fight for something greater. The world is full of people who settled for comfort, and because of that, they settled for less than their true potential. But pain is different. Pain awakens something in you that comfort never can. Pain strips away weakness. It pushes you past the line where most people quit. It demands your effort, your focus, your sacrifice, and in return it builds resilience. It builds strength. It builds greatness. Every champion, every leader, every person who ever left a mark on this world did so by walking through pain. They faced failure. They endured struggle. They stood in the fire and refused to be consumed by it. Pain became their teacher. Pain became their pathway. And pain became the foundation of their greatness. Think about your own life. The moments you are most proud of were not born in ease. They came after pushing through trials. They came after long nights, hard work, and sacrifices no one else could see. They came after choosing the hard road when the easy one was available. Comfort could never have given you those victories. Only pain could, because pain forces you to evolve. It forces you to grow into a stronger version of yourself. It forces you to face the parts of you that are weak, break them down, and rebuild them into something unshakable. Greatness is never built in the soft life. It is built in the grind. It is built in the sacrifice. It is built in the struggle that demands everything you have and more. Comfort leads to mediocrity, while pain builds greatness. And the ones who embrace pain, the ones who choose the harder path, the ones who lean into the struggle instead of running from it, those are the ones who rise above. Those are the ones who live with purpose. Those are the ones who leave behind legacies. The comeback is built in the moments of hardship and challenge. It is not born when life is easy. It is not created when the road is smooth. It is shaped in the fire, in the pressure, in the storms that test your spirit. Hardship is not your enemy. Challenge is not your punishment. They are the very tools that forge your strength. They are the chisels that carve the weakness out of you. They are the storms that prepare you for the sunlight that is coming. When everything feels heavy, that is when your comeback is being written. When everything inside you screams to quit, that is when resilience is being built. When the world doubts you, when failure surrounds you, when nothing seems to go your way, those are the very ingredients of transformation. The comeback never happens in comfort. It happens when you are on your knees, when you are broken, when you have nothing left but the decision to rise again. Every champion, every fighter, every success story you know was born from hardship. They all had moments when quitting would have been easier. They all had moments when no one believed in them. They all had moments when the pain felt too much. But instead of surrendering, they chose to endure. Instead of running, they chose to fight. Instead of giving in, they chose to rise. And in that choice, the comeback was born. Your greatest victories will not come from what is handed to you. They will come from what you fight for. They will come from the nights you endured, the sacrifices you made, the trials you overcame. The comeback is never a sudden event. It is a process built brick by brick through discipline, through pain, through relentless determination. Every hardship is a test. Every challenge is an invitation to rise, to grow, to become someone stronger than you were before. If you avoid the struggle, you avoid the comeback. If you run from the challenge, you run from the very thing that could have made you unstoppable. Hardship shapes your character. Challenge sharpens your will. Together, they prepare you for the moment when you rise again, not as the same person, but as someone greater. The comeback is not given. It is earned in the fire of difficulty. It is earned in the silence of struggle. It is earned in the choice to keep moving when quitting feels like the only option. The comeback is built in the moments of hardship and challenge, and those who endure those moments will always rise stronger, sharper, and ready to claim their victory. Carrying heavy burdens strengthens your character and resolve. Life will always hand you weight to carry. Sometimes it will feel unbearable. Sometimes it will feel unfair. but it is in the carrying of that weight that you discover what you are truly made of. Every burden you bear is not meant to break you. It is meant to shape you. It is meant to pull strength out of you that you never knew existed. The easy life does not build resilience. The comfortable path does not create greatness. It is the heavy loads, the struggles, the responsibilities that test your willpower and reveal the depth of your character. When you carry something heavy, you are forced to grow stronger. You are forced to dig deeper. You are forced to endure beyond what you thought was possible. And every time you refuse to drop the weight, you expand your capacity to handle more. Character is not built in moments of ease. Character is built when you feel like letting go, but you keep holding on. Character is built when you are under pressure, but you refuse to bend. It is built when life feels overwhelming, but you choose to rise instead of collapse. The burdens you carry today are shaping who you become tomorrow. They are teaching you patience. They are teaching you discipline. They are teaching you responsibility. And most of all, they are teaching you resolve, the unshakable determination to keep moving forward no matter what stands in your way. Resolve is not born in luxury. It is born in the moments when everything feels heavy, and yet you decide to take another step. Resolve is born when you carry pain, disappointment, and loss, but still refuse to let them define you. The heaviest burdens often produce the strongest warriors. The ones who carry the most often stand the tallest. The ones who endure the weight become the ones who lead, inspire, and guide others. Carrying heavy burdens is not easy. It hurts, it exhausts you, it makes you question yourself. But every moment you carry that weight, you are growing. Every step you take under pressure builds resilience. Every time you lift yourself up despite the heaviness, you become harder to break. The burden that feels unbearable today may be the very thing that unlocks your strength tomorrow. Carrying heavy burdens strengthens your character and resolve. It transforms your struggle into power. It transforms your pain into endurance, and it transforms you into someone who can stand tall, no matter how heavy life becomes. The mind will resist, but persistence unlocks breakthroughs. Your mind is powerful, but it is also protective. It seeks safety, it craves comfort, it wants to avoid anything that feels hard, painful, or uncertain. That is why when you try to grow, your mind fights you. It whispers, "Stop, this is too much." It says, "You can't handle this." It convinces you to quit before you've even begun. Resistance is the mind's natural defense. It wants to protect you from struggle, but in protecting you from struggle, it also tries to protect you from growth. Every time you reach for something greater, your mind will push back. It will create doubt, it will magnify fear, it will remind you of every past failure. It will try to keep you in the comfort zone because that is where it feels safe. But breakthroughs are never found in the comfort zone. They are found in the space beyond resistance. They are found when you keep moving, even when your mind screams to stop. That is the power of persistence. Persistence does not silence resistance instantly. Persistence overpowers it slowly, step by step, action by action. The more you persist, the more your mind adapts. The more you push, the more your limits expand. At first, persistence feels like war. Every thought fights against you. Every excuse rises to the surface. But if you hold the line, if you refuse to quit, if you keep showing up, something changes. The resistance weakens. The doubts begin to fade. The impossible begins to feel possible, and suddenly a breakthrough comes. You realize you can lift the weight that once felt too heavy. You realize you can endure the pain that once made you stop. you realize you can achieve what once seemed unreachable. The breakthrough was never beyond your ability. It was only beyond your persistence. Your mind will always resist the climb, but persistence takes you to the summit. Your mind will always fear the pain, but persistence reveals the strength within the pain. Your mind will always want to quit early, but persistence proves that the finish line is closer than it seems. Every great achievement is a story of persistence defeating resistance. Every breakthrough is the reward for refusing to quit. The mind will resist, but persistence unlocks breakthroughs, and those who persist long enough discover that the mind's greatest barriers were only illusions waiting to be broken. Transformation happens when you refuse to give in during trials. It does not happen when life is easy. It does not happen when everything is going your way. Transformation happens in the storm. It happens when the weight feels unbearable. It happens when the pressure is suffocating. It happens when the struggle feels endless, yet you choose to keep moving. Trials are the fire that shape you. They test your patience. They test your faith. They test your determination. They strip away the weak parts of you, the parts that cannot carry you to the next level. And if you endure them, if you refuse to bow under their weight, they build a new version of you, a stronger version, a wiser version, a version of yourself that could only be born in adversity. Giving in is easy. Walking away takes no effort. But the ones who transform are the ones who stay in the fight. They take the hits, they absorb the pain, they stumble, they fall, but they rise again and again. Refusing to give in does not mean you don't struggle. It does not mean you don't feel pain. It means you don't surrender to it. It means you do not let it define you. It means you stand in the middle of the storm and declare that you will not break. Transformation is hidden in those moments. The moment you push one more step when your legs feel weak, the moment you stay the course when your heart is heavy, the moment you rise again when the world expects you to stay down, trials are not meant to destroy you. They are meant to prepare you. They are the training ground for greatness. They are the fire that molds your spirit. They are the mountain that reveals your strength. And every time you refuse to give in, you grow. You grow in courage. You grow in discipline. You grow in resilience. The person you were before the trial is not the same person who walks out of it. Because you are transformed. You are no longer fragile. You are no longer easily broken. You are no longer defined by fear or doubt. You become someone forged in fire, someone who knows that nothing can stop you as long as you refuse to quit. Transformation happens when you refuse to give in during trials. Because it is in those trials that you meet the version of yourself who is unstoppable. The version who rises above pain, the version who turns suffering into strength, the version who transforms struggle into victory. Your greatest comeback comes from embracing pain as fuel for growth. Pain is not the end of your story. It is not the signal to quit. It is the beginning of transformation. It is the spark that can ignite your greatest rise. Most people run from pain, they numb it, they hide from it, they avoid it at all costs. But those who rise, those who truly transform, do something different. They embrace it. They turn pain into power. They take the very thing that was meant to break them and use it as the fuel to build themselves stronger. Pain has a purpose. It sharpens you, it teaches you, it forces you to face your weaknesses and replace them with strength. Every time you endure pain, you gain resilience. Every time you push through it, you gain power. Every time you embrace it, you grow into someone greater than you were before. The comeback is never built in comfort. It is born in the struggle. It is carved in the nights of pain, the mornings of sacrifice, the days of discipline that no one else sees. That is where growth happens. That is where your comeback is being written. Pain reminds you that you are alive, that you are capable of more, that you have not yet reached your limit. When you learn to see pain not as punishment, but as preparation, everything changes. You stop fearing it. You stop running from it. You start welcoming it. You start using it. Because pain has the ability to unlock potential hidden deep within you. It is the weight that builds your strength. It is the fire that purifies your character. It is the storm that strengthens your foundation. Without pain, there is no growth. Without struggle, there is no strength. Without hardship, there is no comeback. The pain you feel today is the training ground for the person you are becoming tomorrow. It is shaping you into someone who cannot be broken. It is preparing you to rise higher than you ever have before. Your greatest comeback does not come when everything is easy. It comes when everything is hard and you choose to keep going. It comes when life knocks you down and you choose to rise anyway. It comes when pain surrounds you, and instead of letting it consume you, you let it fuel you. Your greatest comeback comes from embracing pain as fuel for growth. Because the very thing that tried to stop you becomes the reason you rise. And when you rise stronger, sharper, and unstoppable. And when the world looks at you, they won't see the pain you endured. They won't see the nights you struggled, the battles you fought in silence, or the weight you carried when no one was watching. What they will see is the strength. What they will see is the resilience. What they will see is the unstoppable spirit of someone who refused to break. Your pain was never the end. It was the foundation, the fuel, the fire that built your greatest comeback. So stand tall, embrace the scars, and let the world witness the power of a life transformed by pain turned into growth, and struggle turned into victory.